everything so far has led up to this moment, okay? So we taught you guys how plume goes, right? We talked about reactive contact, squat attack, right? Kind of went through security halts, crossing LDAs, reactive IDF, things like that. We already kind of talked about, right? All that stuff is what's going to take place during your movement to your objective, right? And your objective for one of those days is going to be an ambush, okay? Now, what's important about this ambush is you guys are going to end up having to brief this, okay? So I don't expect you to be able to brief it to the level that I'm able to brief it at, or any of the RIs can brief it at. We do this every day. But you get to brief this board and all the other boards that we've already shown you, all the battles to the best of your ability, okay? So that's why it's important that you guys do take notes. We provided you a little packet right there, and it does have the notes in it. All right, on the left-hand side, you're going to notice all these little talking points right there. Okay, those are really for me to use, so that way I don't get lost when I'm talking, but it's also for you guys to use to follow along. All right, and when you're briefing this during your operations order, you're going to need all this information right there. Okay. All right. Now, on the right-hand side of the board there, you can see we just have a drawing of squat ambush. All right, too easy. And on the lower right-hand corner down there, we got our security halt prior to the ORP. Okay. So, actions on the objective. You're going to hear that a lot. Okay. Actions on the objective starts at the security halt right down here, prior to the ORP. Okay. So, before I go any further, if I start talking really fast, someone raise their hand and slow me down. I'm a fast talker, I get in the flow of things, and I just lose my mind and just keep going, okay? So if I start talking fast, slow me down. All right, so we're in FOOM. We're in our squad column fire team wedge, moving through the woods, right? And we're starting to get close to our objective, right? Or relatively close. So when you're about 200 to 400 meters away from where you want your ORP, you're going to begin looking for a spot to conduct a security halt, okay? 400 meters during hours of good visibility, 200 meters during hours of limited visibility. All right? So, once you get to that location, you think, all right, this is a good enough spot for me to set a security halt. You're going to throw up the hand and arm signal to halt, right? And everyone's going to take up a short halt posture behind the nearest covered and concealed position. Okay? So, just like we talked about yesterday, Alpha Teamer is going to throw his hand up, right? And he's going to go ahead and take a knee right down behind a good-sized tree. Some of you guys yesterday were getting down behind trees that were that big, right? That's not cover. You need to look for a good-sized tree, especially because in this situation, you're technically behind enemy lines at that point, right? So you don't want to be in a situation where if you start getting lit up, you don't have any cover. You need to find a good tree, okay? Anyway, so Alpha Team is going to take up a short halt posture. All right? You guys all try what short halt posture means? All right, just taking a knee, right? All right. And then he's going to go ahead and ensure the rest of his team does the same thing. Now, this is assuming that the squad has worked together for a little bit, right? And that he can trust his guys. Sometimes you might have a new guy in there, and he's going to have to go and physically put him in place. I get that. But everyone should be able to find a covering seal position relatively close to where that hand and arm signal went up. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So, once he's gone ahead and halted and everyone's behind a covering seal position in a short halt posture, then the squad leader is going to start closing the distance with him, right? And he's going to move up close enough to allow that Bravo team leader to move in and establish interlocking sectors of fire when he halts, right? Interlocking sectors of fire with the Alpha team leader. Does that make sense? So you have Alpha team, squad leader's going to move in. He's going to stop however far, whatever you guys deem necessary out there. He'll stop, halt his team, right? Then Bravo team's going to move in, and then they're going to form that little circle, and they can establish interlocking sectors of fire out at 35 meters. Okay? All right. So once that's done, everyone's kind of stationary for a second there. The squad is going to go ahead and throw up the hand and arm signal for sills, right? Just round fire and handcuff motion over your ear, right? How long are we going to do sills for? 3 to 5 minutes, or as long as the squad leader deems necessary, right? All right. So once he wants to terminate sills, he's going to do that with what? Just a slash motion across the ear, right? Okay. So once sills are terminated, what's going to happen is the team leaders are going to move into the squad leader's position, okay? The squad leader should have no reason to go up to Alpha team leader or to Bravo team leader because he's the one who said halt, right? Now, if the Alpha team leader said halt, then that's when the squad leader would go up. Does that make sense? To figure out why he halted the squad. But in this case, this is done by the squad leader. All right? All right. So he went ahead and the team leader's moved into the squad leader's position. The squad leader's going to let him know, hey, this is our security halt prior to the ORP. All right? So here's what we're going to do. Alpha team leader and I, we're going to go ahead and conduct a map check, pinpoint our exact location to make sure we are where we are, okay? Or where we want to be. Bravo team leader, I want you to go ahead and I want you to start at the 3 o'clock, work your way down through the 6 o'clock, over to the 9 o'clock, go into your team, telling them what's going on right now, readjusting security, and all that good stuff, okay? So basically, he's going to go over there, maybe give a guy a new sector of fire, put him behind a better tree, and let him know, hey, they're doing a map check for the security hole, and then move to the next guy, right? He's basically doing that just for his team from the 3 to the 6 to the 9. Make sense? Okay. So, before he leaves, the squad leader is going to go ahead and give him a time hack. He said, hey, you have 3 minutes or whatever, right? And hopefully in that 3 minutes, him and Alpha Team Leader can pinpoint their exact location, all right? If not, if you don't want to give that time hack because it might take you a few extra minutes, not the end of the world. You just keep going, and Bravo Team Leader is going to move around until Alpha Team Leader relieves him out there, okay? So, while Bravo Team Leader is moving around, doing his thing on the perimeter, Alpha Team Leader and squad are going to pinpoint their location, right? Confirm that, yes, this is where we want to be. This is going to be our security hall, right? And then the distance and direction roughly for their next movement, okay? Yes?
So the security hall, is that 200 to 400 meters from the ambush site?
No, the security hall is 200 to 400 meters away from your ORP, okay? All right. So, once Alpha Team Leader is done, he's going to go out and relieve the Bravo Team Leader, right? Essentially, he should be going from the 9 o'clock to the 12 o'clock over to the 3 o'clock, telling his team what's going on, right? Here's where we're at. This is where the security hall prior to the ORP. You know, here's your new left and right limits, whatever. Okay, because you'll be putting that information out to those guys. Simple enough? Okay, so once that's out and everyone's happy with what's going on, now it's time to go ahead and strong point the security hold. Okay, because these guys are going to be here for a hot minute. All right. So everyone know what I mean by strong point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, probably like you heard the other day, we're really just going to strong point the 10 and the 2 and the 4 and the 8. Okay. You don't have to do that out there. That's just what we teach. It's the easiest way to do it, right? But it never has to be that way. So what can happen right now is the squad leader can go ahead and give attachments and standards for how he wants the team to strong point, right? After he gives those attachments and standards out, the squad leader can go ahead and take the gun and he can move it wherever he wants on that perimeter. You understand what I'm saying? That gun is not a part of that perimeter. It floats. All right. So wherever he deems necessary, high-speed avenue approach, natural lines of drift, whatever he wants. That's where he's going to put that gun. Okay. So he tells the team leaders, "Hey, Alpha Teamer, I want you to go ahead, start strong point your team. All right. The way I want you to do it is when you get over there, I want the first guy. I want him to be pulling security. While whichever guy you decide, he's going to take his rucksack off slowly, not just slam it on the ground, right? He's going to take it off slowly, and he's going to put it frame down, cat eyes facing in towards the center of the security hole. Okay? And then he's going to get down to the prone, and he's going to start pulling security. Once he pulls security, the guy that you moved over there with him, he's going to do the exact same thing, right? And he's going to get down in the prone, pull security. And that's going to happen all the way around the security hole. Make sense? All right. Any questions so far? Okay. So, once that's done, all right, once both teams are strong pointed, then the squad leader is going to go ahead and spot check just to make sure that it meets his intent. Okay? That they're in the position that he still wanted them in. You know, left and right limits are good. He's just going out spot checking. He's doing what a good squad leader does. Okay? All right. So, once we've strong pointed, now we have some pretty good security set up, right? We kind of have a little bit of freedom of movement inside the security hole. A little bit more so now. Okay? So now we can start getting ready for our leader's recon of the ORP. Okay? So, we moved into our security hole. We strong pointed, right? We pinpointed our exact location. Now we need to get ready to go and clear our ORP. Okay? Everyone know what ORP stands for? Objective Rally Point. Okay? Alright, so that, an ORP is, depending on what mission you're doing, recon's a little bit different, but an ORP is almost like a patrol base. Okay? That's where you're launching your operation out of. Does that make sense? Okay. So, excuse me. So, the way we're going to do this, there's going to be 4 personnel that go on the leader's recon of the ORP. Okay? We're going to have the squad leader, all right, Alpha Team Leader, we're going to have Alpha Team Rifleman, okay, and Bravo Team Saw Gunner. All right? Is that in your notes? If it's not, you might want to write it down.
Say that again.
All right. So you have the squad leader, the Alpha Team Leader, Alpha Team Rifleman, and Bravo Team SAW. Alright, so those are the individuals going on the leader's recon of the ORP. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to go ahead and start moving in off the perimeter a little bit, right? To start prepping MWE, okay, men, weapons, and equipment, right? It doesn't have to be anything crazy right now. It's more of a hasty prep MWE, just making sure everybody has all their equipment. Basically your rucksack, because you shouldn't have taken anything out of your ruck yet, right? So it should just be your rucksack. Make sure guys are topped off on water, and should be good to go. So all those guys are going to move into the center of the ORP where the squad leader is, okay? With the addition of the Bravo team leader, okay? So we've got a nice little meeting going on inside there, right? All right. So the reason why they're all in there is the squad leader is now going to brief these guys on what they're doing. All right, he's going to let them know, hey, we're going to go on our leader's recon of the ORP. All right? I would say, oh, roger that, too easy. I knew this was coming. All right? So the squad leader has to start issuing out some 5-point contingency plans. All right, or a GOTWA. You guys all heard GOTWA? Okay, so he has to issue out a couple of those, right? He's got to issue one out to the Bravo team leader, okay, to cover the time that he leaves the Bravo team leader at the ORP and goes up to conduct his recon, at the security halt, and goes up to conduct his recon of the ORP, okay? Then he's going to leave one with the Alpha team leader to cover the time that he leaves the Alpha team leader at the ORP and goes back to the security halt to grab all of his guys. Does that make sense to you? All right, any questions on this yet? All right, so the one to the Bravo team leader, all right, probably sounds something like this. I highly recommend as well, if you're not comfortable giving out a GOTWA, don't just try to spit out a GOTWA, like by saying, okay, I'm taking this many guys with me, I'm going to be gone this amount of time, blah, 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 right? Say it as you're going with it, meaning, I'm going on a leader's recon of ORP. Others I'm taking with me are myself, Alpha team leader, right? Alpha team rifleman, Bravo team SAW, right? Time I'm going to be gone approximately 45 minutes, all right? What to do if I'm not back? If I'm not back in 45 minutes, I want you to try to reach me via FM. If you can't get me, I want you to try to call me every minute on the minute for 3 minutes or whatever you want, okay? All right. If you still can't get me, I want you to try to call Alpha team leader because he's going to be with me. If you can't get him, when we have a complete comms breakdown, I want you to call up to hire, inform them of the situation, and take further guidance from them. All right? All right. What to do on enemy contact? So, if while I'm moving up to the ORP, okay, and we take contact, we're going to go ahead and react to contact, break contact, move back to the security halt, consolidate, reorganize, and decide on a course of action from there. All right? If while I'm up conducting my recon of the ORP, and you take contact, I want you guys to try to fight in place. I'm going to try to make my way back to you. We'll consolidate, reorganize, and decide on a course of action. If it is too much and you can't handle it, then go ahead and break contact back to the last en route rally point, and I will meet you there. Make sense? All right. Now, special instructions. Okay? Special instructions to the Bravo team leader are: 1, make sure everyone stays awake. Readjust the perimeter while I'm gone. Make sure somebody stays on the radio at all times. All right? And when I call you with the far recognition signal, I want you to get guys up in the long haul posture into the short haul posture, ready to move. Okay? All right. So that's one GOTWA right there. That's for Bravo team leader. Any questions on the GOTWA? No?
What's the A stand for in the GOTWA?
Actions on enemy contact.
Okay.
Yes?
Why would the Alpha team leader go on the leader's recon?
You'll see. You'll see. We're getting there. All right? All right.
Now, so is Alpha team leader, is he gonna drop his ruck
Where?
because we're in long haul?
No.
I don't think so. Because
Everybody does, because it might take you, everyone does it first, right? Because it might take you a few more minutes to figure out your plan or whatever. Maybe some, you know, you don't know how long you're going to be at that security hall, so you have 100% security. So if he needs to get on the line, if the squadron says, hey, we're staying here for X amount of time first, he's going to be on the line pulling security with his guys. See what I'm saying?
but when you move out, that's when.
He's going to have his rucksack no matter what.
Okay.
You will never leave your rucksacks, except for when I tell you, right? You're never ever going to leave your rucksacks anywhere. Because if you take contact, no one else is going to pick your stuff up and carry it, right? So you got to have it with you, so that way you can grab your stuff and move out. Okay? All right. Any other questions? Okay. So now we got a 5.4 the alpha team leader, right? So alpha team leader going. I'm going on leaders recon at ORP. Others I'm taking. I'm going back to the security hall. All right, to get the rest of the squad to bring them to the ORP. Others I'm taking with me are myself and the alpha team rifleman. Okay. Time I'm going to be gone. I'll probably be gone about 30 minutes. Okay. What to do if I'm not back in 30 minutes? If I'm not back, I want you to try to reach me via FM, right? If you can't get me, try to call me every minute on the minute for 3 minutes. If you still can't get me, I want you to call Bravo team leader. If you can't get him, try the RTO. If you can't get the RTO, hopefully your radio works well enough, call to hire, inform the situation, and take further guidance from them. Alright? Alright. Action on enemy contact, alright? So, if once I leave, if I take contact, alright, from in between the ORP and the security hole, I'm going to break contact back to you, we'll consolidate and organize, and we're going to try to make our way back to the security hole, okay? If it's overwhelming, we'll break contact back to our to a far side rally point or to an in-route rally point, whatever you want, okay? Alright. If you take contact, I already say that one? I say you're ready to talk about squad leader. Okay, so if you take contact, alright, if you guys can handle it, try to hold out for a minute. I'm going to try to make my way back to you so we can consolidate, reorganize, and decide on a course of action. But if it's overwhelming, I want you to break contact to an en-route rally point and notify me on the radio. We'll meet you there. Okay? Special instructions. All right. So, special instructions for Alpha Team Leader. One in here. When you're at the ORP, I want you in the prone position. All right? You guys are going to utilize the tap code method to communicate, which we'll talk about here in a minute. You guys hear that yet? Okay, great. Tap code method to communicate, okay? When I call you with the far recognition signal, that's going to be your cue to go from the long haul posture up into the short haul posture and help walk the squad in to the ORP. Okay? That's pretty much it. Yes?
So the squad leader is leading the alpha team leader and the Bravo team saw at
Yes.
the ORP.
Yeah. Okay? Any other questions?
Just the alpha team leader and the Bravo team saw.
Yes, at the ORP for right now, yes. Just, we're not even there yet, but yeah, that's what's going to happen, yes. Any other questions? Okay, so once those have been issued out, all right, the Bravo team leader, we'll just say in this example, is going to move to the 12 o'clock of the security hall. Okay, it's to establish a choke point. Everyone know what choke point is, right? All right, you establish that choke point. And once the squad leader is ready to roll out, he's going to go ahead and move his little element out, walking past the Bravo team leader, right? Bravo team is going to ensure to physically touch each man as he goes by and count them out, right? Squad leader being the last one out of the security hall. As he goes by the Bravo team leader, he's going to go ahead and let him know, hey, your 5 point is in effect at this time, right? He'll say, roger that. And then everyone moves out, right? Bravo team leader goes and does what he's supposed to do in the security hall. His special instructions that the squad leader gave him, he's going to start doing that, okay? All right, so they're going to move out in a diamond formation, okay? So you'll have alpha team leader, he'll be at the apex of it, right up front. And then the whole flume thing goes on right here. To the left of him and 45-degree angle box 5 to 10 meters away can be the saw gunner, right? To the right of him, 45-degree angle box 5 to 10 meters away is going to be alpha team rifleman. And then bring it to the rear will be me, the squad leader, right? Okay, so it's a diamond formation. Everyone knows what I mean by that, right? All right, and they're going to start moving out. So, as they're moving out, depending on how far away it is, again, your ORP is going to be about 200 to 400 meters away from your objective. Okay? So, depending on the visibility, limited visibility can be 200 meters away. Good visibility can be 400 meters away. All right, making sense? All right, so about halfway to the tentative ORP, squad leader go ahead, halt the little element. All right, everyone takes up a short halt posture, and then go ahead and conduct SILs, just to make sure they're not being followed, nothing stupid happened, or maybe they're drifted towards a road or whatever, right? So just conduct SILs. Once you're comfortable with that, you're gonna get up and keep moving, okay? Now, SILs. When it's hours of good visibility, you guys just stay in your formation, take up the nearest covering SIL position, right? And you conduct SILs just like we talked about before. Hours of limited visibility, however, SILs are gonna be done slightly different, okay? You guys are all going to get rucksack to rucksack. Does that make sense? Okay? And when the squad leader wants to initiate SILs, he's going to squeeze the guy to his left. Okay? And that guy is going to squeeze, and eventually the squad leader is going to get squeezed on the right side of his arm, right? On the right side of his body. That's going to let him know everyone got the word, SILs is initiated at this time. Right? Now, once he wants to terminate it, he's going to do the exact same thing. Okay? And once he gets squeezed on that right arm, he knows everyone got the word, and we're going to move out. Okay? Make sense to you guys? Okay, so now we're moving through the woods. We get to be about, we'll say 300 meters out, okay, from our actual objective. So we think, you know what, I need to start, or excuse me, 400 meters, we'll say. All right, I need to start looking for a good spot for an ORP, okay? He starts moving in the woods, maybe he's about 350 now, starts looking for the good signs, good characteristics of an ORP. All right, you guys kind of already heard it the other day. All right, it's that easy away provides, right? Easily defendable for a short period of time, away from natural lines of drift, away from high-speed avenue approach, provides little to no tap to provide to the enemy, provides good cover concealment for both ground and air. Okay? So what's that telling you? When you hear those 5 things, what does that really mean? What are we looking for?
Nobody's gonna find it.
Just a nasty spot, right? Just a crappy spot. You don't want to be in it. That means the enemy doesn't want to be in it, right? So, with that being said, you guys all seen The Patriot?
Yep.
Alright. If you're an American, you've seen The Patriot. Okay? So, in The Patriot, one of the characters portraying is Francis Marion, the swamp fox, right? They call him that. Why? Because he ran his operations out of a freaking swamp, right? You want to go in a swamp? No. That's how nobody found him. Nobody wants to go in that. They're going to avoid it, right? I'm not telling you guys to go out there and put your ORP in the middle of a river or something stupid, right? But you do want to look for a good spot that is going to provide good cover and concealment, and it does give you, has almost all of those characteristics that we just talked about. Okay? Any questions on those? Okay. All right. So once the squadron thinks that he found that spot, all right, we're going to go ahead and halt the element there. Okay? And we're going to take up a short haul posture, and you're going to conduct sills. All right? Once sill is complete, then the squad can go ahead and start having the alpha team leader and alpha team rifleman conduct their clearing of the ORP. Okay? So as soon as complete, he'll pull those 2 and say, hey, I want you guys to go ahead and clear the ORP. Here's how I want you to clear it. Right here where we're at, this is going to be the 6 o'clock position. Okay? I want you guys to move from the 6 o'clock to the 3 o'clock, from the 3 o'clock to the 9 o'clock, from the 9 o'clock to the 12 o'clock, from the 12 o'clock back down to the 6 o'clock. Does that make sense? All right, so right here, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12, 12 back down to the 6. Okay? That's how you're going to clear it. So you're going to go to each one of those locations, kind of conduct sills for a minute, aren't looking for any ass, brass, or trash, right? So when you're there, you're still looking for signs that the enemy might have been in that area. A lot of people leave, especially soldiers, you guys leave MREs everywhere in the woods, right? Because you don't want to carry that crap with you. You don't want to get ants in your rucksack or something. Especially in range school, guys dump ammo everywhere because they don't want to carry extra ammo, right? People take doo-doos everywhere, it doesn't matter. All right, you're just looking for any signs of life in that area. All right? Once it's good, the 2 are going to move down to the squadron and say, hey, looks pretty good to me. Then the squadron, if he wants, can go in and spot check a couple of those locations just to make sure that alpha team leader and the rifleman didn't miss something. Does that make sense?
So was it 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6?
Yeah, so it's from the 6 o'clock to the 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock to the 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock to the 12, 12 back down to the 6.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Yes.
I guess I'm a little confused on so at the security hall, you're gonna take the alpha team leader
Yes.
and Bravo team star gunner to the ORP,
Yes.
and then you're gonna come back.
Those 2 are going to stay there.
Okay, and then squad leader's gonna go back to the ORP and then clear it.
He's going to go back to the security hold,
Yeah, and then
grab
grab
the
his
rest of the
guys
squad, and bring it back up to the ORP.
and then clear.
It's already been cleared. Because I just had alpha team leader and alpha team rifleman clear the ORP. That's what I just said from the 6 o'clock to the 3 o'clock.
Right.
3 to
So
9.
they're doing that why, and those guys are gone.
Yeah, so,
Okay, that's what I was
so right up at the ORP, you have the squad leader,
Right.
right? Alpha team leader, alpha team rifleman, and Bravo team saw gunner, right? So the Bravo team saw gunner, which we'll get into in just a second. I was going to get into it, but anyway, I'll just go to it now. He's going to be pulling security, right? And then the alpha team leader and the alpha team rifleman are actually going to clear the ORP, right? So right now you have the squad leader and the saw gunner really pulling security for a minute there, right? And the other 2 are going to go in and clear it. Now you know it's clear, right? Once that's done. So once it's been cleared, now what's going to happen is the alpha team leader is going to get in a long haul posture, and he's going to stay there at the 6 o'clock position, okay? He's going to be pulling security facing back towards the direction they just came from, really is what it comes down to, okay? And the saw gunner will be pulling security from the 6 o'clock pretty much to the 12 o'clock of the ORP, all right? So they're going to both be in the prone, feet interlocked, utilizing the tap code method to communicate, okay? So 1 tap means what? Hey man, you doing all right? 2, oh, I think I hear or see something, right? 3, okay, this is about to go down, we need to take action, right? What it is. So, he gets him down to the prone to make sure the feet are interlocked. Then he's going to tell Alpha Team Leader, hey, your 5 point is in effect at this time, okay? So, the reason why we're leaving Alpha Team Leader back here now is because, 1, we need to leave a couple guys back there to ensure that that area stays clear, right? 2, we're leaving a leader over there to ensure that when the squad leader comes back up, he can actually start walking the squad on that location. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to leave the team leader back there because of a few of those reasons, okay? So, he tells him, hey, your 5 point is in effect. And then he's going to call up the Bravo team leader and say, hey, Bravo team leader, squad leader, hey, let you know we're en route back to the security hall. That is the Bravo team leader's far recognition signal, okay? Far recognition signal, letting him know that we're coming back. That's going to signal him to get guys up from the long haul posture up to the short haul posture, ready to move by the time the squad leader gets back. Making sense? All right. So, at that moment, after he does that, squad leader and the Alpha Team riflemen are going to be making their way back to the security hall. Okay? So, once they get back, or halfway to the security hall, conduct SILs again, make sure they're not being followed or anything crazy like that. All right? As they start getting closer to the security hall, they're going to start looking for that Bravo team leader, right? Hours good visibility could just be waving like that. It doesn't matter. Just to get them in there, right? Hours limited visibility, probably use a number combination with IR flashes of some sort. So let's say it's 5, right? If you see the, whichever element sees each other first, you can go ahead and flash them, right? If I see the Bravo team leader, I'm going to go ahead and flash him 2. He'll respond with 3, right? Or vice versa. Well, you're not just going to stand there flashing until they get there, right? Because the enemy, even the Taliban, they have night vision capabilities, right? Do they have night vision? Does the Taliban have night vision?
Yes.
Right? It might not be our version of night vision, right? But a lot of those little camcorders they use to videotape all their attacks have night vision on it. And you can see the little strobes everyone wears and all that nonsense, right? So yes, they can be out there flashing as well. So you want to actually make sure that it is that area, so you're not just going to stand there and flash like an ass, right? Okay, so once they make contact with them, the Bravo team is going to count those 2 back into the security hall. You move to the center, take a knee, all right? Conduct SILs again, just one more time, make sure all the movement didn't stir something up. All right, once SILs are complete, the squad is going to tell the Bravo team leader distance and direction to the ORP. All right, give him a minute to pass that information around. All right? Once that information has been disseminated, the order of movement up to the ORP now is going to be the remainder of Alpha Team, followed by Headquarters, followed by Bravo. No change, right? So that rifleman, he knows where he's going. He just came from there. He's going to lead that squad to the ORP. Okay? Any questions so far? All right. So, once the squad gives them the order to go ahead and move out, they're going to move out. As they start moving out, the squad leader is going to call the Alpha team leader, let them know we're en route back to the ORP. Alpha team leader at that time is going to go ahead and go from the long haul posture into the short haul posture, right? All right. That is the Alpha team leader's far recognition signal at that point. Let him know they're en route back. Okay? So, as they start getting closer, if the Alpha team leader sees the squad and maybe that rifleman slightly off, he's going to start waving them in, right? Waving them in, getting them, walking them onto their location. Now, once that rifleman gets up to the Alpha team leader, okay, if you're a squared away squad, you're instantly going to move into your ORP and strong point right off the bat. Okay? You don't have to, but it makes your life 1,000 times easier if you do. So, same example I used earlier, 10 and 2, 4 and the 8, right? So, that rifleman gets up there, and these Alpha team leaders say, all right, man, go ahead. I want you to move to the 10 o'clock position, okay? Grenadier comes in, hey, I want you to move to the 2 o'clock position, all right? Saw gunner, hey, I want you to move to the 10 o'clock position, all right? And then the headquarters, by that time, the headquarters element should be up to where the Alpha team leader is, right? Making sense? Okay, so what's going to happen is the squad leader is going to relieve the Alpha team leader at the 6 o'clock now, okay? He's also going to go ahead and give him the gun team and the RTO to drop off in the center of the ORP, okay? So he's gonna move in, drop off the gun in the RTO, and then the alpha team leader is gonna go, I think what I say, back over to the 2 o'clock, wherever there's not a partner, right? And help strong point that position, okay? So now we have, just at the 6 o'clock, we have the squad leader standing there, right? 30 seconds later, up comes Bravo team, okay? Oh, excuse me, we have squad leader and the Bravo team saw gunner. So now, up comes Bravo team, okay? So what's gonna happen now is the squad leader is gonna orient the Bravo team leader to the ORP. Say, here's the 6 o'clock, there's the 3, the 9, the 12. I want your team to strong point the 4 and the 8 o'clock position, right? Says roger that. So, Bravo team leader just goes ahead, picks up the saw gunner, does a little button hook over to the 8 o'clock position, or 4, whichever side you want, right? And sets him down in place, right? And puts his other team at the 4 or 8, whichever side wasn't occupied already, right? All right? Squadron moves in, stops in the center there, and you guys conduct sills. Okay? Once sills is complete, then the squad is going to go ahead and place the gun team wherever he wants it, and we can actually start cutting MWE for actions on the objective. Okay? So, any questions up to this point? We just covered a lot of stuff. Yes?
How far out do you give your far
Recognition
far
signal?
recognition signal? Is that before you even leave your?
Yeah, so let's say I'm in the security hall, right? And I gotta give my alpha team a far recognition signal. I can tell everyone, hey man, get up, everyone up, move out, and then I just call alpha team leader and give them the far recognition signal.
Hey, we're on our way.
Yep,
Roger.
that's really what it comes down to. That's far, and you have your near recognition signal, and that's obviously number combination, challenger password, whatever it is, okay?
Tracking.
So headquarters is gonna be in the middle, and then the squad is gonna determine where to put that machine gun, depending on its lab approach or
Right.
natural lines of drift.
Yep. Yep. All right, any other questions? Yes?
You said with the mirror recognition signal, whoever sees each other first could initiate it, but would it be better if the guys that were in the ORP or the security vault initiated it? That way,
Doesn't always,
They couldn't just
it's-
come up and flash any random number and.
well,
have to get one right.
if the guys in the security hall are the ones, if the guys at the security hall are the ones that are initiating it, right? If I'm, let's just say this is a force on force fight, right? Because that's possible still. It's not always going to be insurgency anymore, right? So if it's force on force fight and you hear something or you see someone in uniform or nods on, you start flashing them, that might not be your dudes. You see what I'm saying? If alpha, so, or what if Bravo team leader doesn't see them, but the squad leader sees them? You see what I'm saying? He can initiate the challenger pass with a number combination. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can visually tell it's your dudes, it's too easy, right? If not, you want to try to get there, and you can try to do a couple, whichever element thinks they see it. If you don't get a response, it is what it is. It's one of those things, man. When you're on the ground, you just got to make that decision. That's why I say either one could do it, but you have to make that decision on if you're going to do it or not. Does that make sense?
Could you keep calm as well and say, okay, I'm 100 meters out?
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing telling you you can't.
25 meters out, that way.
Yeah, there's nothing telling you you can't. But even when you're that far, say, hey, 25 out, watch for my signal or whatever, right? And you can go ahead and do it. That's too easy. Okay. Any other questions? All right, take 5 minutes. Go make your peas and poops. All right, get some water and come back in.